Hello and welcome to the ProfitWorks Small Business Services seminar titled Things You Can Do Today to Get More Sales from Your Website. In this seminar, we want to give special thanks to Intelligent Office for allowing us to hold the seminar at their facility, and also a special thanks to Westmount Signs for their partnership in putting this together and bringing out people to the seminar. So in terms of what we're going to cover in this seminar, first, the objective of the seminar is to learn more about search engine optimization and conversion optimization for your website, specifically things you can do in regards to search engine optimization and conversion optimization to be able to get more sales from your website. So hopefully at the end of the seminar, you have a couple things that you can take away and implement on your site to drive more sales. In terms of the agenda, we're going to define the goal of every website. Then we're going to take a look at some of the keys to higher conversion rates. And then we're going to do some live feedback sessions. Now, this part will be edited out of the seminar when it gets posted online for confidentiality reasons. And then we have a section where we're going to talk about how to track results and also discuss some advanced tools. So in terms of what the goal of every website is, there's a lot of misconception, it seems, in the market, and a lot of prospective clients and clients, when we first deal with them, there's very few that really have a good understanding of what the goal really is of their website, or at least they might know, but they don't give it the importance that maybe it deserves. And what I'm talking about is that for every website, the goal is not to get more website traffic. If you get more website traffic and you don't increase sales, that website traffic is pointless. As well, if you get a bunch of people to like your Facebook page, or maybe share some of your posts on Facebook or Twitter, or gain a huge Twitter, Instagram following, but all of that leads to no additional sales revenue, then it doesn't really help your business and it's not a good use of your time. In the same token, the goal of the website is not to rank higher in Google. If you rank higher in Google but you don't drive any additional sales, then what's the point of ranking higher? It's not going to benefit your business. So at the end of the day, the goal of every website is to drive more sales. Now, a lot of times when you increase traffic or increase your rankings, that can drive sales, but you have to make sure that what you're tracking is the actual sales increases and not these other metrics, because what matters at the end of the day is, are you driving additional sales? These other metrics can often be misleading. So what are the keys to conversion? Well, there's a couple that we're finding across our clients that are very important, and we're seeing drive significant increases in conversions. And again, what we do is we provide for various businesses services for their websites in regards to search engine optimization and conversion optimization. And so because we're dealing with a number of different businesses and tracking that information, and we work with our clients to track back all the way to sales, we're able to see what has an impact on driving additional sales and what doesn't. And we're continually learning more every month as we see more results of different tests and different things we're doing across our growing customer base. So in terms of the the top things, the number one by far item that will increase conversion is increasing trust for people that are coming to your website. So if people come to your website and based on what they see, they don't trust the company or don't trust things that the website is saying, you're not going to have a very good conversion rate. Whereas on the other hand, if you can get them to have a high degree of trust in your website and company, that has a significant impact on sales rates and conversion rates. Now there's a couple different ways to build trust. There's social proof. You can build trust through social proof. You can build trust through displaying and gaining credibility. You can build trust by communicating the company's values. So if people see evidence and maybe a statement of what the company's values are, and they believe those to be true and they're good values that line up with their own, they'll be much more likely to purchase than maybe a company that doesn't share the same values, or just one that doesn't even talk about the values that the company has. And then fourth would be a human or personable element. So there's a lot of studies that we've seen where if you include an image of real people on a page, that will convert much better than a page that doesn't have any sort of human element. We actually see this a lot of our clients. One of their most successful pages for conversions is often the Our Team page for some smaller organizations. And what we seem to be effective is having an image of that particular team member, a short description. It just creates a very much more personal and human element to it, which builds, again, trust, and people are more willing to buy. Under kind of the number one type of way to build trust, that being social proof, there's different types of ways and different tactics to build social proof. So in terms of the different types of social proof, there's expert social proof. So social proof that shows you're an expert in your field. There's a celebrity social proof. So, a celebrity endorsement. There's user social proof, and what we call wisdom of the crowd. So basically information that shows that there's a large mass that has trusted you already, and if there's a large crowd following you, that must mean that this is a good choice because so many people have already made that choice and are happy with it. So in terms of different tactics of ways you can improve or display social proof on your website, you could include certifications that your company has. You could include maybe some test results if you've tested your product versus others. You could also improve, we've already talked about this, but celebrity endorsements, testimonials from your customers, reviews on other sites from your customers, ratings or satisfaction levels of your customers, ratings on the performance of your product, a customer list that includes some very recognizable companies. You'll often see some companies where they'll show also used by or are customers, and then have some logos of some very recognizable brands. That will build trust. Case studies. So having a case study that shows how your product or service has helped a customer can build social proof and trust. Having information on how many customers you've served. If you think of like McDonald's, on all of their signs, pretty much they've got statistics on how many billion customers they have served, and that builds trust that, okay, if they've served that many customers, they must be doing something pretty good. And then you can also use social shares. If you have a large amount of them, that can help to build credibility and social proof, I should say. So after social proof and trust, all of the things I've just been talking about, the The second item that we're seeing is having an impact on increasing sales from websites is including multiple paths to the conversion path. So multiple links to the conversion path. So if your goal from the website is to get someone to fill out a form that then will trigger one of your salespeople to follow up with them to give them a price quote, you want to have multiple links on your homepage and key pages to go to that page where they fill out the information to start that process. So instead of just having one link, you want to have, some ways at the top of the page that they can get to that form, maybe some links in the middle of the page and then some at the bottom, and then not only having them on your homepage but having them throughout your site. Another thing that we're seeing to have a big impact on sales rates is this idea of one focus. So that would be on your homepage or any of your pages having one key focus for that page, one focal image, one focused product, one desired action, and one focused goal. So it's not that you can't have other things, but to have one of them that's very clear is the focal point, that again you can steer them down that conversion path. You only have under half a second to peak someone's to basically display a good first impression. People make a decision on a website in terms of their first impression of the company within under half a second, and then under 3 seconds they determine whether or not they're going to stay on the site and read more. So it's very critical that when they come to a page, that very quickly it conveys that one thing that you want to get across that is going to give your company a good impression in the mind of the viewer, and also create enough interest that they will want to stay and read more. The next thing, number 4 there, so we see an image of a gold bar, and what this is to represent is to provide value to the website visitor. So again, you don't want to be pushing on your website visitor what you think your company is great at, or speaking at it from your point of view. You want to talk from the prospective customer's point of view and give them information that will be of value to them. So is there something that you can offer? Is there some information that you can provide to them to answer questions? Something that will be of value to them, that they want to engage with you and engage with your website. And then finally, the other key to conversion is a list of advanced tools, which we'll go through later. And really, the most important, or the most powerful, I guess, I would rephrase it, the most powerful advanced tool that we're seeing for our clients is A/B page testing. So that's where you have an existing page, you create a new version of that page, and then you test the two against each other. And how you test it is through Google Analytics. You can split the traffic 50% to the one, 50% to the other, and see which one performs better. And how that works is the test continues to run until the data shows that one is statistically significantly better than the other at creating the conversions that you're looking for. So setting up a conversion in your analytics that tracks users taking the action. So if maybe you run an auto mechanic shop and your key thing that you track for conversions is that someone fills out a form to book an appointment, then you could track page A versus version B and see which version got a higher percentage of visitors to fill out that book an appointment form. So this part of the webinar we're going to skip. If anyone watching this after the webinar has been recorded would like a live review of their website, they can contact us and we will go through their site and give them a live review of different things that they could implement to increase the sales from their website. To do that, just go to www.profitworks.ca and you can just go to the contact us section and email us, and we'd be happy to set something up. In terms of how to track results, so again, if you're not tracking what sales are coming in from your website, you're not going to know whether or not your website is working to drive your business forward. And if you don't know what's working to drive sales, how can you know what you want to spend your marketing dollars on, or what you should be spending more or less on? And the truth is you can't unless you know what is driving sales, and the only way to know what's driving sales is to actually track it. So what we usually recommend here for our clients is that the best way to do this is to implement this right into their accounting system. And what we kind of outline is, it's really three easy steps. So one would be build right into your process that you ask your customers how they found you and why they decided to contact you. Now, we sometimes get pushback that, our customers don't have time for that, or we don't want to upset our new customers. Of all of the instances where we've done this in our own business, as well as had our clients implement this, we have never had anyone say that a customer wasn't willing to give that information, or that they became upset when we asked. Actually, it's the opposite, where new customers are very willing to share this information and almost appreciate that it's been asked and they can give some feedback. So what we're seeing is it actually helps develop that customer relationship. So you shouldn't feel like that's something too hard. And in terms of time, it only really takes maybe 30 seconds to do. So it's not like it takes a lot of time. And then so we suggest you build that right into your sales process. Ask customers, and if you're in a business that doesn't deal with a sales transaction where it's human to human, just put a simple drop down button on your checkout on your website if it's an e-commerce site, and that's the way you can collect that information. Then again, once it's built into your sales process, then it's just a matter of recording it into some sort of tool that you probably already use. So again, the best way would be is somebody's probably entering those sales data from some sort of document into your accounting system. And so building it right into that document and then having it implemented into your accounting system makes it incredibly easy and very accurate, that at any time you can pull a report from your accounting system and see how much revenue has been driven from the different marketing methods. And then finally, what we would recommend is that you kind of do that, where you export the data and take a look at it, maybe once a month or annually, or both. And then you can get a very good understanding of what's driving revenue for your business and what's not. So in terms of some of the advanced tools, the first one we have here is A/B page testing. So again, this was the one that we were talking about as having probably the biggest impact for our clients currently. And what again an A/B page test is where you create two versions of a page. So you have maybe your existing home page, you create a new home page with the new home page incorporating some improvements that you think might work to improve sales rates. So you could even do that based on, after the seminar, you've got some ideas, build a new homepage, test it versus your current one, and see if what we've talked about and the thoughts that you have in terms of how you could improve conversions will actually increase sales and conversions. And just to show the power of this is just one of many examples, but for a company that conducted an A/B page test, version B got a 5.63% conversion rate versus version A, which only got 1.27. So that's over a 400% increase in sales. It's incredibly powerful. If you think about anywhere else in your business where you could get a 400% increase in sales, I think anyone would be jumping up and down for that kind of sales rate. So to not be using a tool like this, which can be so powerful, it's really a missed opportunity. The next tool is heat map tracking. And what this is it's a map that shows where people focus most of their time with their mouse cursor. So it gives you an indication of where their mouse is. Now, the interesting part about this is that there's been multiple studies that show that there's about a 90% correlation between where a mouse is and where a person's eye will focus. So by looking at this data, we also have a very good indication of where people are focusing their eyes when they're looking at your website. So you can get a sense for what's creating a lot of attention and what's not. And then you can use this information to improve your website. So if you put some sort of a button or some sort of information or image that you thought would attract a lot of attention and it's a very cool color, then you know your attempt has not been successful. On the flip side, if you've created some sort of focal point that you want to draw attention to and it's a very hot color, a dark red, you know you've been successful. So the next kind of advanced tool is something we refer to as user usage recordings. And this is really useful to help identify problems with your site. And what this advanced tool is it's a recording of people interacting with your site. So it basically records when they come to your site, what page they start at, how they scroll around, what items they click on, and it's just a video showing the interaction of the user with the site. So from this information, if we find the user flipping back and forth between a page, we can get an indication that maybe something is missing or something's not making sense. We can also see what things are working in terms of if we've got a certain button or something that we want them to click on, and we watch a bunch of recordings and see that a lot of people are clicking on that button or not, and they're maybe clicking on something else. We can try to get an understanding of what's working on the site, what's not, and what people are just how they're interacting with the site. And then finally, the last tool would be first impression testing. So what we're looking at here is when you show someone your website for the first time, what kind of impression are they getting of your company? So there's some very simple ways to do this on your own. You can bring up the website at someone's desk, show it to them for 3 seconds, then close the window and ask them what did they get from what they saw. Or you could print it out and flash it to them for 3 seconds. That's a great way to find out what's really being communicated and get a sense for if your website's doing what it's supposed to. Again, users that are coming to your website are going to make a judgment on kind of a first impression of your company within under half a second, and within under 3 seconds they're going to determine whether they want to read more or leave your site. So it's critical that that first impression is very strong and communicates what you want it to. In terms of this advanced tool, we also provide a service where we'll show your website to someone who's never seen it before, and then we ask questions as they interact with the site, and we record their interactions with the site and their answers to the questions. So basically video of how they're interacting with the site, what they're actually doing on the site, and then audio of them answering the questions. And what we would ask would be things like, what's your initial impression of the site? What do you like about the site? What do you don't like about the site? And from that information, again, the same as doing those flash tests, it helps to understand what really is the first impression your website's giving and how it could be improved. What's a website or so 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Ring. Not very exciting web page. Shouldn't load fast enough.
No, doesn't load fast enough. So that in itself gives an impression. If your website doesn't load fast or it has troubles loading, what does that convey about your business?
They haven't spent the money to have a decent website.
Yeah.
Well, you
product
that,
isn't that
yeah,
good.
their product.
So I think
maybe not modern.
engagement rings, that's what they got across, right? But if that's what their goal is, then they've been successful. And I actually know that they're not a client of ours, but I do know that is a goal of theirs, because their whole model is, let's get people when they're young. We'll get the engagement ring, and if we can do a good job with the engagement ring, they'll be customers for life. So I would say, that does a good job based on what I think their goal is. Does it do a good job? If you're looking for something else, you got to ask yourself, if I was looking for a brooch or something, would I continue to look around the site? So, anyways, it gives you a sense for just how important that those first 3 seconds and understanding what comes across is incredibly important and powerful. It's been posted. Again, we'd be more than happy to give a free live review of your website and suggest some things that could be done to improve the sales from your website and things that you could actually implement on your own. If that sounds of interest, go to www.profitworks.ca. Or if you're just looking for some other information on website search engine optimization, website conversion optimization, feel free to go to our blog and podcast at www.profitworks.ca/blog. Again, this has been a seminar put on by ProfitWorks Small Business Services. We provide search engine optimization and conversion optimization services for small businesses. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.